Hello, YouTube. Haven't seen one of these in a while, have you? Well, I did play in this one, and I should be about to upload my involvement with this tournament, well, part two, anyway, as I continue to record this. In the meantime, shoutouts to all of these guys. I'm not going to go through all 383 who cashed, but congratulations to all these guys who made it truly deep into this tournament. It was difficult enough for me to finish 472nd. That was hard enough. For these guys to actually keep it going even longer than that, I'm very impressed with all of them. And a lot of them didn't rebuy more than once. Really happy to see that. Usain Fold kind of fell from grace. He was still on the leaderboard for pretty much as long as I was still involved with the tournament. Rise and Grind, I played with him. Sinning Spree was a chip leader for most of the tournament after I was knocked out, but then he didn't even make the final table either. Right, there we go. I should point out that Beef from Ukraine and Elburger 8 from Bahamas were the most interesting countries left out of the bunch. And you'll notice that none of the people at the final table are from Russia. None of the people in the final 17 were from Russia. I don't know what happened to the Russians. Maybe just fatigue caused by the fact that this is obviously not geared toward that demographic in terms of when these tournaments start. But that doesn't seem to stop them from trying. I mean, all my tables always have a lot of Russians on them, at least early on. But anyway, it's time to go through this final table. I'm going to actually pause real quick to check on the progress of my upload. Okay, it's all done. All right. This one, I can't imagine this final table takes too long because notice that the big blind is 1,000,000 and the biggest stack has 36 million. So this shouldn't take forever. But this obviously was a huge tournament. 3,146 entries, out of which I finished 472nd, which wasn't good enough for money, but there's a bit of pride behind it. Uh-oh, Dead Tones might be able to call this. It's only 7.2 big blinds. Although, with the stacks this shallow, it's not how many big blinds they're risking. It's more what percentage of your own stack are you risking. And in this case, Dead Tones would be risking like 22%. And he says no to King Queen suited, which, to be fair, there's a lot of action behind him. So I kind of understand that. Now, out of everybody at this final table, there were actually two people that I sat with. Dead Tones and Sleeved Aces. I didn't sit with them long enough to get much of a read off of them, which is probably why they're here and I'm not. But I did at least play with a couple members of this final table, and good thing Seabass didn't get fancy there. Cam's collecting nice and shows the Ace Queen. I just picked up a walk with. I gotta say, I'm probably rooting for Sleeved Aces. That's just a great poker name to have. Although the quality of this final table is probably not going to be all that great because, like I said, the chip leaders only got 36 big blind, 37 now after the walk. And all in with the random king and Mateus folds. King 10 of club, that's a hand I went out on. Supposed to be my favorite hand, but it's not won a lot for me lately. He says no to it, though, even with only 3 players left to act. And as it turns out, Mateus would have probably played with him and would have had him dominated, so good fold. Tough decision now for Mateus. Obviously, with a raise of 2.5 million, it's pretty much pump it or dump it with King Jack suited. and decides to dump it. Dead tones with a lot more chips, but if he's thinking in terms of ICM, King 6 suited is not that good of a spot. So Cams collects that pot as well, and I just realized I just said that. It just flew right out of my mouth. Cams collects, you know. Of course I'm going to say that. That was not premeditated, though. Sleevedaces with the rather large shove, I must say. 15.6 big blinds when he's in the middle of the pack in terms of chip stacks. I might have gone with a smaller raise, but to each his own. Still not obviously a huge stack. And Ace King will pick that one up. There's going to be a lot of shoves and take-its. As you can see, everybody's guaranteed $432.58. That's off of a $8.80 buy-in. These guys have done phenomenally well. Okay, I actually am going to go with the 2X, because I can tell that a lot of these are just going to be raise and take-its. Or just walks, even. Galodoido with, I agree with that walk, because Cook was just, like, so short and desperate that, you know, you don't want to shove and have to show down 5-6. This is not the first time I've commented on a final table with somebody named Galodoido from Brazil. I don't think this is the same person, though. I think the original was like Galodoido 57, 37, something like that. But Galodoido seems to be a very popular name in Brazil. I don't know what it refers to, obviously. And apparently this does last a while because everybody's clinging onto their chips for dear life. It can't really be helped. Okay, Cook's got to go all in here, and Cam's might be pot committed at this point. Getting 3-1 on a call with King 8 suited. His cards are live, it's worth it, and they are live. Okay, here we go. And not a bad flop for Cam's collecting. He picks up 7 as an out, so King 8 or 7. There's no hearts, though, and it probably won't get any more complicated. 2, well, I guess that counts as complication because of 3 chops it now. But 7, 8, or King is what Cook is trying to avoid here. It's a 5, and Cook secures the double up with the Ace-Queen. Well done, Cook. It's a $160 difference between 8th and 7th, which is 20 buy-ins. Well, 20 non-rake buy-ins, I guess. Pocket 10s are in, and we got some potential callers. Dead Tones will probably fold because he's next to act. Cook, though, I can't imagine is dumping Ace-King here. I mean, open shoving for 9.3 big blinds. You've got Ace-King. You can't fold. This would be the tightest fold I have ever seen if he folds here. Okay, thank you. Cam's probably understands that the King-Jack is no good. Oh, now it's good. Unfortunate for Cam's collecting, but so far we're just doing a little flip here. Mateus winning the flip so far. Some potential outs for a Cook, though. Although a straight wouldn't be one of them because of the paired board. If a 10 comes, that gives Mateus a full house, and that will end the hand straight up. 2 of clubs, nothing different there. So just an ace or king. Not this time for Cook. And Mateus doubles up to 21 million. Blinds are going up every 10 minutes, so even double ups aren't necessarily beacons of security. Couple of 2s. Ace 10 for one of the only actual playable stacks. The 2's full. I can't really disagree with that. And Mateus, if he wants, or she wants, can call with the Jack 7 and play an actual pot. Queen 6 might call and play a pot. Nope. It's just kind of understood at this point that until further notice, there will not be real poker happening at this table. Cook just clinging to scraps of bread, it would seem. Everybody started with 50,000 chips. So, oh, here we go. Here's a actual pot. We all started with just 50,000 chips, but 3.5 million right now feels like breadcrumbs. Obviously, a very nice flop for 8-6. If the 7 comes, he's got the bonus straight. And Queen of Clubs, not the greatest card for dead tones. Mateus with a better flush draw, although neither of these guys are going to be wild about it. Although I would expect one of them to at least test the waters. Dead tones, still with the combo draw. And he does test the waters. Mateus with just the 9 of clubs, but also with Jack High, which actually happens to be the best hand, but there's no way she can know that. I'm just going to say she, because it's a Harley Quinn avatar. You know how I am. And she will go ahead and fold. I can't really disagree with that. I wouldn't disagree with the call either, but I can't really disagree with the fold. So Dead Tones takes that one. And has the most tenuous of chip leads. Nobody has 30 big blinds right now. The blind just went up. 8s are in. Mateus with King Queen suited. I'd play this. Nope. Dead Tones wouldn't play the King Queen suited. Mateus won't play the King Queen suited. Would I have been thrilled about it? No, but I would have played it. Oh, look, King Queen suited for sleeved aces. He's going for it. Nobody's going to call him, though. There's a huge difference between calling and raising all in. Don't. I'm not going to act like I don't know that. Hams with the raise. Dead Tones may play along with ace-8. It's an icky hand, though. Yeah, I agree with the fold. And Cook with just the 2-3 suited, but he's got no chips. I think he has to roll with this. And just hope to get luck. Okay. Okay. I know it's 2-3, but it's suited connectors, and you literally have one big blind. I'm going with that every time. If you want to have a chance to win, you have to. Although, he did fold, and now suddenly has ace-queen suited, so what do I know? Noblesse oblige, I'm sure, will call. And good thing this is a robot poker game, because setting up a side pot with somebody having 1,307,100 and whatever. Nice board. Doesn't look like a nice board for ace-queen, but it is, in this case. There's a small side pot. Question is, will they try to bluff each other with it? Not yet. 6 of clubs. I'm sure Cook is already about ready to sign the papers to evict himself from the table, but he's still ahead. In fact, all he has to do is dodge a 5-4 or 10. 4. Well, now Cook is going to get out of here unless Noblesse Oblige does decide to actually bluff him out for 2.1 million. He doesn't do it, though. And that'll do it for Cook 1120 from the United States. He's our 8th place finisher. Certainly gave it a good run, though, with doubling up early and then having to, unfortunately, double up Mateus right after that. Down to 7. And the jump between 7th and 6th is pretty large, as it should be. It should be larger than the jump from 8th to 7th. But it's not ridiculously top-heavy. Again, I'm proud of America's Cardroom for getting their... Oh, straight. For getting their payout structures out of the Stone Age. Because until recently, the payout structures looked straight out of, like, 2006. They were so dang top-heavy. But now they look like, honestly, they should. A little bit more for people who make a deep run but can't quite seal the deal. And pretty standard action there. Bet with the nuts and bottom pair. Can't like it, so fold. Sleeved aces with my newest kryptonite, ace-5 of hearts. Cam's collecting with the fake tank. There's no way he calls here. Sleevedaces is making rather large shoves. And we got 7s on 7s here. No less obliged with the min raise. Mateus could do really anything here. Could fold, could call, could raise. I don't think Mateus will fold. It'll be awfully tight. Yeah, he or she's just gonna call. Mateus is a man's name, and got a female. I'm gonna say he. Mateus is just too masculine of a name. All right, Nobliss will bet and snap call this time for Mateus. He likes that flop, and can't blame him really. With pocket sevens, only one overcard. That's not half bad. Nobliss just got snapped, so he may not want to keep going. He is, though. I honestly don't know if this is a value bet or if he wants Mateus to go away. Because that 4 seemingly wouldn't change anything unless Mateus had, like, exactly ace-4, king-4 suited. Mateus sticks with it, and we got a 10 on the river, making it less likely that each other has a 10. Right now they got 10, 10, 7, 7, 6. Not exactly a great set of cards. 16 million out there. He does check it back, and yeah, that would have been a very awkward spot to be in. I think they're both kind of relieved to see each other's cards. I have genuinely no idea if that turn bet was value or bluff. I guess it was value, because if it was a bluff, maybe he would have gone for the all-in on the river. Dead Tone says no to Queen 4. Even to a min-raise. Wow, the blinds are about to go up again. This raise should get through as well, unless Dead Tones wants to play 7-5. Nope. Well, Champs Collecting isn't really doing anything extraordinary, just raising with good times. Picking up pots where he can and evaluating which situations are worth going for. Now, here's an interesting one. Dead Tones has a pretty easy fold of King-Queen suited this time. An open shove for 9 big blinds is one thing, but a 3-bet for 15 big blinds, King-Queen's not going to win that one. Now what does Noblesse Oblige do? That's a really big all-in. This is for almost all of his chips. He's got just pocket 8s. This is a flip at best. I would fold here. He just saw Mateus just call the raise with pocket 7s. That's why I'm saying that. So we can be pretty confident that Mateus isn't shoving here with a smaller pocket pair. I like the fold. They just played a hand together with pocket 7s, so if you got pocket 8s, and suddenly he's going all in, no. Yep, blinds are up again. Dude, it's a check. Oh, you're not checking. Although if you're going to raise and bluff, I don't know why you waited that long, but it works. I do like the fact that he did that, because sleevedaces has been all in or full this whole final table so far. So to see him limp there, it does kind of reek of maybe he doesn't want to call a raise. That's obviously a... Oh, wow, Seabass takes it. I was holding the speed down. I didn't think he would take that 10-9 suited, but he is. I'm not going to say it's a bad play, but because he has a short stack out of the lot and he hasn't really done much. He's just hoping to roll the dice and get back in it, but he's going to need a 10 or a 9. Nope. Queen for a little bit of overkill. And Seabass 89 is going to be our 7th place finisher. Noblesse Oblige takes it and moves up to 34 million, or just under. Everybody now with 8 digits, but that still doesn't make them big stacks. Mateus with a suited ace says no. At a 600 table, I think you got to raise there. Noblesse with King Queen, offsuit this time. But very different situation here. Does not have to go all in at all. Actually has an okay stack. And he's going to say 3x. I don't know about that. I would have maybe gone a little smaller. Look, I would have wanted to actually see a flop here. Well, we're going to see a flop anyway, and it's already been bloated. That's kind of the problem. However, since they both completely airballed, Noblesse can obviously just c-bet and take it down, but Willie. Dude, your time bank. It's valuable. You're wasting your time bank, and you checked. Oh, boy. Didn't feel comfortable c-betting on a 9-7-3 flop. And there comes Cam's collecting. By checking there, you open the door to your opponent bluffing. And I have seen that movie before and been the victim of it so many times on ACR. I'm getting around to it. I'm figuring out how it works. I feel like I'm getting a little bit better at it. But the King Queen does hit the muck, even with overcards and a gut shot. But that was a big bet by Cams. I probably would have folded there too, but I would have c-bet the flop. Yellow Dodo with a raise all in, I'm sure. Noblesse with the Jack King off suit. Why do they do this? I forgot that's what they like to do with these final tables. They just use stupid raises. What the heck are you doing making it 7 million with 4 million behind? I don't understand it. This is the final table. You can't do that and just hope somebody else busts. That's not how it works. Another same hand thing here. Oh, brave move, and it should work. Can't imagine Dead Tones' column of ace-2 for almost all his chips. But these guys are taking their sweet time. Big final table. I mean, don't think I'm sleeping on that. It's 3,146 players down to 6. But they are taking their sweet time. Even on some pretty easy decisions. Or if not easy decisions, then at least relatively inconsequential ones. When it's been checked to you, you really shouldn't be taking that long. Got a hand here. Oh, sleevedaces is going to go for it. He may call with the king-9 suited. But sleevedaces has only ever shown an all-in or fold side to him. If he saw what his hand was, he might gamble. That one, I'll give him that one. That was worth thinking about. I wouldn't have faulted him either way. That should be a fold. It's not a fold. Oh boy, he might wish it was though. He's got a flush draw. Dead Tones has trips. Again, it has been checked to you. Do not waste your time bank, please. It's just frustrating to watch. Cam's collecting, going with the pot control route here in case the flush doesn't come, and I kind of like that idea because Dead Tones is not a maniac, so he will bet relatively, small-ish. And the thing is, Cam's collecting is already in front. He's already the chip leader. So if he gets the flush, great. But if not, let's not take too many unnecessary chances. And he does miss. Dead Tones obviously is not going anywhere with his trip queens. So he's gonna go for the bluff anyway. Dude, what do you think you're representing here? That story makes no sense. As Antonio Esfandiar would say, this is a super easy call for Dead Tones. And just like that, he's got 49.8 million, and Cam's collecting just gifts him an extra 10 million plus on the river. Instead of being a tie between those two, they're separated by 20 million now. Of course, if he didn't have a queen, then that bet might have worked. Let's not pretend that I don't know that. But also, what were you representing? I guess maybe he was trying to represent that he was slow playing a queen. Maybe. That's really the only believable story that could be milked out of that. Problem is, Dead Tones has a queen. Right, so Ace-Jack got out flopped here, but can't really blame Mateus for calling with 8-7 suited. And the board is looking friendlier and friendlier for Mateus app. Noblesse Oblige has absolutely none of that, but he's learned from the past, and he's trying to keep the aggression up, but now he does taper back, and it's a good thing he did. Mateus hits the straight on the river, so he's going absolutely nowhere. The question is, does he check and hope for another bluff? I don't think he will, because Ace-Jack actually does have a tiny bit of showdown value. Maybe not now that the board's so connected. Mateus does go for the small bet, and that should be a fold. This would be some kind of hero call. No. I mean, even a 3 beats him, let alone an 8. Not to mention a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, a 9. There's just no universe where that's worth it. Oh, look, the blinds are up again. Interesting flop. Dead Tones with the gut shot and 2 overs. Cans with bottom pair. Cams with what Ali Najad calls Peking Duck. Ace-2 suited. The best kind of 2. Because 2s are ducks. So, best kind of duck would be Ace-2 suited. King of Diamonds, I don't think either player is wild about that card. They already checked it. I imagine this will go check as well. No, it won't. That's a half-pot bet, so I can't really imagine that's a thin value bet. I don't see a smaller 2 calling half-pot. He wants a fold, and he'll get the fold. Trying to represent a king, no doubt. And it works. King-Jack all in. I think he's getting called. Cam's collecting with Ace-Jack suited and plenty more chips. Won't be thrilled, but I don't see him folding. Although he has been playing a lot of the smaller pots. His style might be to try and avoid the large confrontations if necessary. But I think that's just a tiny bit too strong to fold. But there are 3 people behind, and he is going to fold. Now what does Gallo Doido do when Dead Tones finally fold his 3-9 offsuit? Thank you. This is obviously for all of his chips as well, and he's going to fold that as well. Sleeved aces gets the Jack-King offsuit shoved through an Ace-Jack and an Ace-10. King-10 makes the raise. Mateus with queens. Already 6.5 million out there. I would probably expect just an all-in. Otherwise, going to get cute here. Because 6.5 million is already a big increase to that stack. And do you really want to play queens post-flop with a 6-handed final table? Probably not. Yeah, this should be just folded around. Dead Tones, please. I don't remember Dead Tones taking that amount of time on every decision when I played with him. There was no decision there. Ace-5 off to a 3-bet all-in. No! No decision. Checking back with the pair of aces there. I don't know about that one. There's a lot of draws out there. I'd want to bet there. Noblesse Oblige picks up a gut shot to a... Well, it's not really... Well, it's not a gut shot, but it functionally is. Only a 10 does it. Problem is, all the cards are black. He's got red cards. Yeah. Not a good draw. In fact, I'd say that's probably the worst draw you could possibly have. A gut shot when there's 4 black cards on the board and you've got 2 red cards. Oh, for the love of... Just move all in. Then you see, Sleeved Aces gets it. There is absolutely no reason whatsoever to raise almost all in. Tones could play this pot. Ah. I don't have the set up this time around. Hello, Dolito. Time to raise 11,296,000. Dead Tones. Why are you doing that? You're gonna need that time bank later. Oh, he actually went all in. Good for him. It just tilts me to watch that. You have a time bank. It's finite. Don't blow it. That's tankable. That moving all in with ace-9 there, that's very tankable. I can't blame him either way. As it turns out, the shove almost certainly would have gotten through. But life's looking pretty good for Cam's collecting. He's waiting on Sleeved Aces to make an ill-timed bluff at it. And there it is. And you gotta bluff more than that. If you're gonna bluff. Quarter pot's not gonna get the job done. 7 of clubs, so that's another thing he could represent. And, dude! What is that? It's not going to work. I agree with Cam's not raising there, because obviously if Sleeved Aces does have what he's representing, then raising there is a terrible idea. But that's a pretty easy call when he's getting like 5-1 with trips. I figured he'd show the queens. He's been showing his cards a lot. I kind of like to see that. It's refreshing. I can't remember anyone showing their cards anywhere near that much at final tables. Ooh, bad timing. That'll lead to a fold. Fake tank. I mean, sure, I get it. This fake tank, I kind of understand. Because there's already been interaction between both players. Although, the fact that, again, he took time out of his bank. If you're going to fake tank, don't go all the way to the bank. This time he does go for the all-in with another odd, wishy-washy spot. But it's a good one. King Jack's not really the hand that you would want, but down really low. Even picking that pot up, he's only got 10 big blinds, because they just keep going up. Decides I got to make my move at some point. And it worked out. Dead Tones with a hand he could play. Okay. 5-4 clubs on the button against 2 short stacks, and he just gets rid of it almost immediately. Raise, re-raise all in, 9-8, 9-6 offsuit. Takes 2 minutes. It takes 17 seconds, which is 2 seconds off of his time bank before finally fold. I don't understand at all what's going on here. The sleeved aces is getting desperate. King 7 might have to work. Might just go for it. Nope. 6-handed with 2 big blinds. King 7 suited's not that bad. I don't think anybody else is going to oblige you. I mean, there is a guy named Oblige, but as far as going out before you, that's not going to happen. You got to take your stand. And Noblesse Oblige, well, he will oblige you. Problem is, he's going to oblige you with a better hand. And a 5 is going in the muck, so you do not have much of a chance. But I'm rooting for you, Sleeved Aces. That's a great, great name. And there is a 5 and a king, which means you have 1 out left. You have 1 out. Nope. Okay. Great run by Sleeved Aces. It'll end in 6th place, and everybody else is guaranteed over $1,000. Sleeved Aces, though, with nearly 100 times return on investment. Well done indeed. I do believe we've lost 3 Americans in a row. Not that matters tremendously, but it's kind of interesting. Galadoido with... I'm anti-sweating you at this point. I just can't stand it. I know it shouldn't bother me as much as it does, but why are you making these stupid raises when you should just go all in? Camp's collecting. I'm surprised he's even tanking that much with the 4s. That, I mean, his instinct was right. It would have been a flip, but I wouldn't have risked that much with it. Pocket 10, that's a nice hand. I see a min-raise coming up here. No, he's going to try it all in. I don't know about that. Now, of course, the big blind's 2 million, but, you know, we're all pretty close here. I would have at least tried to see a flop. But then again, it's also blind v blind. It can get kind of weird and awkward. So there's reasons for it. There's reasons for shoving. Dead Tones probably thinking that that shove is a little fishy. I actually thought about playing the ace-8. It does show the ace when he folds. I won't fault him for that tank. It's like, I know I shouldn't, but that shove makes... But that shove is, like, triggering my alarms. Speaking of shoves that trigger the alarms, are you kidding me? 40.5 million all in with King Queen? Ace-2 suited goes in the muck, as it probably should for your whole stack. Everyone's so close. Oh, now Galadoido goes all in. See, he's willing to commit to 8 queen off suit. Now, that's the real hand. Also might have to do with being small blind, big blind. Just doesn't want to get repopped for another stack. That should be a winner for Noblesse Oblige. Even though the quality of poker obviously isn't very high when the blinds go up this fast, it's undeniably fun to watch. These guys just kind of squirm around with what little chips they have. This king. Kent's collecting is probably the one who's playing the most like me on account of showing their cards. And not taking too long. And just taking the spots that seem relatively straightforward. This one's not straightforward. They both miss. They both have high cards, but they both airball the flop. Min bet. Although Dead Tones has just a horrible hand for that board. Again, 2 black cards when the board's all red. Galadoido doesn't have a good hand either, but at least his cards are red. I mean, if you're going to c-bet there, I would have bet at least 3.5 million, but 2 million works there as well. Galadoido might play this. He does. And flops a pair. Not bad. This Dead Tones want to go for it. I mean, if you watch me play, there's a lot of pots where I say it's not worth fighting for. Here, there's already 9 million out there. It's kind of worth fighting for. Galadoido is just going to call. But that's going to leave him on the back foot. And he's going to know that. So he's calling there just hoping that he sees a king or a 3. Or maybe Dead Tones will slow down. I can't really blame Dead Tones because everything is just so on the fence. And a king on the river, Dead Tones might feel like another bluff is being greenlit here with that check. No, he saves himself. Good discipline. Because Galadoido is not going anywhere with kings up. And there's a bet. Pretty big bet, too. I don't know what he was trying to target. Maybe a 10. Ace-king suited. Oh my god, the blinds are huge! Nobody even has 20 big blinds. The big blind was 1 million when this final table started. Easy all in there for Noblesse Oblige. Time for the fake tank. Don't go into your bank. He didn't go into his bank. This would be a bad time to shove. Good job. Everyone's just so close. That makes this even more fun to watch, because, like, something could give at any moment now. And when it does, whoever wins the pot is going to be the chip leader by default, pretty much. But then they're going to be one hand away from giving it away to the next guy. Unless they win 2 in a row, then they can pretty much cruise to victory. Galadoido folds the ace. I don't blame him. Oh, showing the bluff. Cams are going to have to fold here. Because Galadoido's coming back at you with that ace-king. Might make it only 25 million, but you'll get the picture, I'm sure. You're smart. Yep. I don't understand. What is the point? You're saving 2.5 million for a rainy day. Like you're really ever going to fold. Ooh, neat. Taking after Dead Tones there. Oh. Alright, let's bump it to 4x then. I do hope that you're getting at least some out of this, even if it's not exactly poker strategy. It's at least the entertainment of seeing 6, now 5 guys with so few chips to work with 2.5 million being the big blind. I mean, it's effectively turned into a sit and go. But that's just because nobody wants to blow all their chips. I've been noticing that in the tournaments that I play, like, or even not even the tournaments I play, but sometimes I'll just barge into another tournament and scope them out when they're down to a few tables. So once it gets down to a few tables, they are tight. They do not want to blow this chance they have, and understandable. This one in particular, 3,146 players. How often are you going to get down to the final? I mean, final 50, let alone the final table. Aces for dead tones. Here comes the min raise. And Mateus pretty much has to call it with... How in the world does he fold that? I guess that raise just stunk too much. The min raise just has to be aces. I would disagree with that. Look, the min raise. It's 8-jack suited. King Queen's better than that. Like, Mateus happened to be right there, but I don't think that's a good idea. Folding to a min raise with King Queen. In general, I think that's a losing play. In that particular case, though, he was correct. But yeah, see what I mean about tightening up? Although I will say this. I prefer watching them play way too tight to watching them make a deal. I don't blame Galadoda for folding the sixes there. I'm sure you all already know how I feel about deals. It kills the game completely. The spirit of the game just takes a battering when even the ability to do a deal is brought up. At least they're playing for it straight up. So even if they are making some extremely tight folds, you got to respect them for playing for it straight up. See, that's not aces either. Galadodo knows what's up. Oh, we got some cards here. Pocket sixes for Galadodo. And now he's going to shove! After those min raises, he shoves now. Dead tones with my very least favorite hand in all of Hold'em. I don't know how he would read this. Like, genuinely. Galadodo's making a couple of min raises and just taking them. Now he's shoving with the biggest stack. How exactly do you read this move? Even with pocket nines, which, of course, objectively are a pretty nice hand to have, especially five-handed. But how do you read this move? How often are these nines good? We can see, obviously, they are. Usually, pocket nines and 12 big blinds, you're in without a second thought. But it's a different deal when you're having to call it, and he does call, and pocket nines lose. Well, losing. And... oh, he steals it back on the river! What a run out that was. Dead Tones takes back what was rightfully his. At least as far as when the money went in. And now he's got 63 million. Galadoido, I got a feel for him here. Picking up a pocket pair on the very next hand. And he's going to be just as far behind here as he was last time. Dead Tones, you have 3-8 offsuit fold. He went into his time bank for 3-8. Just a call. He's got a spade, but so does Cam's collecting. Here's the all-in. I'm sure Cam's going to call. Yep. And he hits the 4 anyway. But, of course, this hand's not over. We already saw Dead Tones find a very unlikely solution, and now Cam's can hit a 10 or a spade to take it back. Nope. And Galadodo with 27 million just like that. Cam's collecting all of a sudden the short stack. Although this is really like a 4-way tie for second, and then Dead Tones. Again, I don't remember Dead Tones tanking that long over nothing decisions. Interesting raise. Noblesse Oblige could just call if he wants. Nope. That's not what we do around here. Dead Tones. Let's see. Getting 18.5 million into a pot of 32.1. I'd probably still say no. Obviously, we saw Noblesse's card. This is a call, but I'd say it's still not worth it. King 10. And pocket aces. And Dead Tone's probably going to raise here, too. Oh, and the blinds are up, too. Nope, doesn't do it this time. Does it go with the min raise? Does it go with the all-in? He's going to go with a time bank. Dude, if you end up auto-folding the aces... oh, God. Well, it turns out I don't think he's getting called anyway. I'm wrong. And that is the exact type of flop that Noblesse Oblige was looking for, although it could end up being his undoing as well. Cam's Collecting is absolutely all over this flop. Can hit an 8, 6, or 7 to knock to... Well, it wouldn't knock out Noblesse, but it would double him up. You're going to miss that time bank when it's gone, dude. There's the all-in, obviously a snap call. And the 8 hits! Cam's Collecting gets there! Noblesse Oblige, maybe second-guessing his decision to min... Nah, I wouldn't second-guess that. I mean, that's probably the idea, is to try and sucker him in a little bit. Just unlucky that that happened. So Noblesse is going to need an ace, obviously, 5 or a 4 for counterfeit 2-pair, or a 7 for a chop. And a 2 is not one of the outs. Cam's Collecting returns to 45 million. Actually, I think that's his first time getting that far. Only 15 big blinds, but it's a very good spot for him. And Noblesse Oblige decimated down to a little over 3 big blinds. I said I play most like Cam's Collecting. I honestly probably would have folded the 8-6 there. Even though it was just a min raise. It's just not a good enough hand, generally. That time it worked, though. Good for him. Dead Tone's favorite hand, 3-8 offsuit. Just tank with it. They only replenish 15 seconds of your time bank, by the way. Every time you go to Brank, they only give you 15 seconds back, not your full 45. Blush and Gallo Toito with a redraw. Or not a redraw, but a draw. Does not want to hit the 10 of hearts, though. Dead Tones. Oh, dear. Dead Tones might be regretting the fact that he checked there. Galadoida will not advertise his flush yet. And of course, let's not sleep on the fact that there's a flush in Noblesse Oblige as well. How has nobody bet yet? Galadoida does go ahead and bet here. Oblige manages the fold, which he did have a heart. So that is still a pretty impressive fold, even though obviously 3-handed normally you would fold that, but for so few chips left. And Dead Tones, I think, is going to just call here. Yeah, he does. It's okay, Dead Tones. I don't think if you'd bet the flop, he would have folded the ace-high flush draw anyway. From my experience, they almost never do. All in with the 10s and 10 king off. Not quite good enough. I said not quite good enough. Oblige down to just a couple million now. Ace King versus Ace King. I'm just gonna speed through this one. Oh my god, he folded! I get why. I really do, because Noblesse Oblige has 3.8 million. Mateus barely has any chips, too. It's the ICM. That's why he folded the Ace King there. It's just kind of funny to see that when the other guy also had Ace King, but you get you get over $1,100 now, but if you can outlast Noblesse Oblige, that's another, let's see, 412. I remember off of an $8.80 buy-in, that's a pretty big deal. So Gallo Doido's not quite as big of an imp as he might look there. Now there's the all-in everybody was looking for. Dead Tones, I'm sure we'll look him up here. Gallo Doido with pretty much no choice but to call this bet. Only 205,000. And Dead Tones with top 2. And checks. I would have thought he would try and bluff. Or it wouldn't be a bluff, obviously. I would just bet. Yeah, take it down. And Noblesse Oblige needs a king or an 8. Nope. Noblesse Oblige hung around as long as he possibly could, but now that entire hemisphere of the table is gone. Noblesse Oblige, well done. And don't tell me. Don't tell me Gallo Doido's power just went out. Oh, that would be so brutal. Oh, Mateus is now getting on my poop list. Okay, he's fine. All in. Oh, no. Oh, that's evil. Mateus does not fall for... Ooh! Now they're all in. Combo draw for Mateus, top pair, and a straight draw for Tams. Here we go. And 6. That's helpful. 6, or a club, or king for a chop. Nope. That's it for Mateus. Well done indeed, getting the 4th place. And now these 3, with similar stacks, once again get to fight it out. And here is the Lon McCarron Memorial hand. Oh, min raise. Actually trying to play some poker here. Good for you. Should be an easy fold for Dead Tones, though. Nope. Oh, yeah. I mean, yep. Yeah, absolutely raise with 10-2. It is a Doyle Brunson hand. Oh my god, dude, stop! Stop tanking with terrible hands! There goes another 2 seconds off of his time bank. This is excruciating. You can check! Stop wasting your time bank! These are easy decisions! I don't care that you're in the final 3 of a 3,146 player tournament. They're easy decisions! And now you have officially made me hate your guts. Queen high, no draw. Fold. I'm losing it. I was never that professional when it came to... Ooh, ace king. When it came to commentary, because I'm not a professional player either. But I'm already beginning to lose my mind here. Oh, did he take back that deal? And I just suddenly felt way hotter. Don't know why. My ceiling fan's off, but it shouldn't make too much big of a difference. I wouldn't blame Galadodo for shoving here. Three-handed as a short stack, that would not be a bad play at all, I don't think. He's got under 10. Yeah, I'm okay with that all in. Just unfortunate timing that Cam's Collecting's got the ace-king, and this is looking pretty good for Cam's Collecting. The spades obviously work for Galadodo. Let's see what happens here. Not a terrible card for Galadodo. 9 or a 7 now saved his life. Nope. Cam's Collecting takes that one. And Galadodo, as much as I loathe to see all those raises that should be all-ins, you know, I gotta hand it to you. You played really well for what the Silent Table brought to you. You know, he raised in some spots that other people weren't raising in, and I gotta respect that at the very least. You did well to finish third. Alright, Dead Tones versus Cam's Collecting. Cam's Collecting, I think these two started 1-2, with Cam's Collecting 1 and Dead Tones 2. What is he doing with the button? Evil green circle button. He's pressing it and unpressing it. Well, judging by this bar, we still have a little bit of play left, and Dead Tones might even take the lead at some point here. Not here, I don't think Cam's was calling. So this is not over. Especially with blinds this big. Well, that'll help Dead Tones. Cam's with the raise, and Dead Tones obviously going all in, and Cam's saying, oops, I have 8-4 here. I probably shouldn't call. Dead Tones up to 48 million now. Ace-King for Dead Tones. A chance to min-raise here. If he wants. That's not a min-raise. I don't know what that raise is. 3.16 big blinds. I assume he just, like, dragged the slider on the, you know, the bet slider until he was happy with the number. That's not the kind of number that you can just come up with yourself. But, you know, some people play like that. The numbers are already kind of a disaster. Oh. That done's with the all-in there, which might be enough to stop him from calling. Yeah, and he shows the 9-10 of diamonds. He certainly calls him in-raise there. Dead Tones with a decision here, King 6 suited. Heads up, that's pretty good. He's facing a larger than min-raise, and he's going for it. Good play. Good timing. He's not going down without a fight, clearly. Queen 4 off. Ugly hand, but heads up could be worth peeling a flop, and it is. They both pair. Cam's with a backdoor going for him, but Dead Tones with the better pair. Spend 15 whole seconds just to check. Well, that card is an extreme brick, obviously. It does not help Cam's Collecting at all. The backdoors aren't working. He just has the pair of 4s. He's going to try betting. Again, minimum bet. I would have at least tried something a little bit bigger if you're trying to shed him. And, well, he's certainly not getting shed now with 2 pair. I'm not sure if that was supposed to be a thin value bet or not. He might have been trying to get, like, King 10 to call King Queen. And there's the all-in, though. Yeah, he's got better than King 10. And Cam's Collecting with just a pair of 4s can't possibly pay that off. But if he had an ace, which he was maybe trying to represent, then he probably would. I don't really see why he's tanking over this. Would Dead Tones ever bluff there? Maybe. The diamonds obviously make it tempting. Tempting for Cam's Collecting to think that he might have been bluffing, that is. Ooh, there's a flop. Cam's Collecting with spades, and now Cam's Collecting with a pair and spades. That should be the end of that. Okay. Nope. We got a pair versus 4 high. This could be something. 5-8 suited, King 10 suited. Just a limp from Dead Tones. I think maybe if he makes it like 8.7 or something like that, Cams might just call, but I assume Cams is going to be raising here. I was going for it all. Yeah, that'll do it. Dead Tones had a comeback going, but it's kind of back to square one now. Looking for, probably looking for a double up. Ace Jack versus 5-7. A limp this time from Cam's Collecting, and that's exactly what he was looking for. And the 7 hits Dead Tones. Cam's Collecting going to need to see a Jack or an Ace real soon, or else Dead Tones all of a sudden is going to be our leader. That's not helping. There's no chop outs or anything like that. Just Ace or a Jack to win this. Anything else, and we carry on. Okay. Dead Tones doubles up. Cam's Collecting still left with 30 or 60 million, which is still a lot of chips. Lives compared with, oh wow, of course the blinds have to go up here. Dead Tones goes for the all-in, and Cam's Collecting would be tempted, but no. 14 big blinds left. Man, oh man, what a trip this is. Queen 6 off. He's going for it. And a snap call with King 10. And it is actually favored at the moment. Queen 6 completely airballs that flop. That 9 of clubs is brutal. Dead Tones, of course, is the 10 of clubs there. So Cam's Collecting is going to need to see a 10 or a 6. Queen's no good. 10 or a 6, and the 6 can't be a club. 8, no good. Dead Tones is the winner with King 10, showing that my favorite hand actually does have potential sometimes. Cam's Collecting certainly played like a champion. I don't think he put a foot out of place all final table. But neither really did Dead Tones. It's just that he didn't put a foot out of place, but he did take a long time to place his feet. Other than that, though, he played excellent. So Cam's Collecting... Wow. Cam's Collecting was the only person at the final table that even rebought at all. That makes me happy. That makes me really happy. So, final table not only can be made without rebuys, it actually was overwhelmingly people who didn't rebuy. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. The next recording that I will give to you is let's see, which one was it? Event number 219, the last roll, $11 buy-in, $30,000 guaranteed prize pool. That's the last one that I planned on playing. I may not play that one though. If I can qualify into the mystery bounty, I'll play that one instead, because that's actually over $79,000 prize pool right now for just a $2.50 entry. I'm going to try one more time to get into that one. And if I get into that, then might as well save $11. I don't want a multi-table, especially with how slow the game ran last time for me. I have properly reset the computer and everything, but just in case, I don't want to play 2 games at once. First of all, I don't know if I have the focus to do that for real money. I have done it for fake money, but not real. Um, I think I will commentate both games though, whether I play them or whether I play both games or not, because they're both pretty big deals for me. One of them is expecting another 3,000 person turnout, and the other one is already, let's see, over 35,000 person turnout. So, pretty big deals. So, I'll see you when I see you. And yeah, I'm done. I'm terrible at outros. Bye.